I'm Rudy Koski in Austin.
I'm Greg Groogan in Houston.
And I'm Stephen Dial in Dallas, and this is Texas, The Issue Is.
The effort to expand gambling in Texas is gaining traction under the Capitol Dome. The group that's trying to legalize online betting finally found lawmakers in the House and Senate to file companion resolutions that could put the issue on the ballot box as early as this fall. Now, the filings come after a University of Houston Hobby School of Public Affairs poll shows that expanding gambling in Texas could pass. Former Governor Rick Perry is the spokesperson for the Sports Betting Alliance, and I spoke to him about how two potential big roadblocks are there that could stop the ballot box issue and what he thought about the poll results.
Well, they're recognizing what we already are seeing happen, and that is people have been online gambling for some time. I think the estimate is somewhere north of $8 billion a year is wagered every year in the state of Texas on sporting events in particular. So I think most Texans, that poll is probably pretty close to right.
We just had the Super Bowl. The big winner we know. Did Texas lose out in this game because we're not doing online betting, in your opinion?
Well, certainly from a standpoint of financial gain, they did. You know, I don't know for one game, although at the biggest game of the year, what that number would be. The estimates are that annually this would bring into the state of Texas approximately $250 million. So these wagers are going to be made. I think it makes sense for the state to regulate it, make sure that your information is safe, because we know that there are some platforms out there that are nefarious, that are offshore. We don't know who they are, frankly. So this will make sure that your wager is safe, your personal information is safe, and an added benefit, the state of Texas will make some revenue out of it as well.
The governor and the speaker have both opened the door to the debate, to the discussion. A chilly reaction from your good friend in the Senate, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Have you had a chance to talk to him in regards to measuring where he stands on this?
Well, the Lieutenant Governor is a very fair, very open-minded. He understands the will of the Senate concept. So I full well expect the Lieutenant Governor to be exactly those things, as he always is.
From your crystal ball, we have another gambling piece of legislation out there in regards to destination resorts. Do you see the Alliance's online proposal and the resort destination proposal remaining on parallel tracks and not merging, or do you predict at some point in time they could merge?
I think your prior statement is correct. The Sports Betting Alliance has their blinders on, so to speak. They're going to stay in their lane.
Some religious conservative groups remain opposed to this. You've had a chance now, more than a month, to get some feedback. What are you hearing? Can there be some common ground? Can there be some give and take? Or is this one of those things that agree to disagree and that's where it's going to stay?
Well, there's always common ground. And I think one of the great things about the Texas legislature is that you see the give and take, as you refer to it, the debate, the discussion about, can we change this? Can we do that? But I think at the end of the day, what makes this such a powerful argument from my perspective is that the legislation is going to require 2/3 of each house, generally speaking, if all people are there, 100 House members, 21 senators, and then a vote of the people in a constitutional amendment. So the argument's pretty hard for a member of the legislature to look his constituents in the eye and say, you know, you were smart enough to elect me, but you're not smart enough to make this decision on your own.
You know, in the past, when we've talked about the gambling issue, it's always been this could be a new revenue stream. But now I'm hearing from you, it's all about safety and security. Is it now less about having a new revenue stream? That's no longer the big sales pitch, considering, you know, we're flush with money here in the state? Or is that still a legitimate argument?
I think both of them are, you know, carry their own weight, so to speak, and a new source of revenue for the state. You know, certainly a discussion about how it should be used. Maybe they use it to reduce taxes. Maybe they use it to lower property tax. There's a host of things that could be done with this. I don't think one outweighs the other.
All right, guys, my word for that interview is spinner. Greg, what's your word?
Rudy, my word is leverage. I'll explain later.
Stephen, what's your word?
My one word, parlay.
Okay, it's game on, but first, the Texas Trio is going to tap out just for a moment. We'll be back after this break to discuss this issue.